Good evening and welcome everyone to the final round of V8 Season 11. Tonight's a 300k race.
Welcome to the final round of the V8 Veterans Season 11. It is round number 12 tonight from Interlagos, and we are here in Brazil for what will be the crowning moment for one of two drivers tonight in this championship. And it will come down to the wire. I've been told, Greg Favell has had such a fantastic season, but I've been told by Ben Anthony that this is the equation. If Nitschke gets pole, fastest lap and 0 incident points, Greg must finish in the top 8 to win the championship. So it will come down to the wire, and I'm looking for every minute of this 300-kilometre race tonight. Track conditions out there as the drivers just start to circulate and put a few final practice laps in. It's cold. It's always cold. It's 18 degrees ambient, 21 degrees track temp, clear skies. Let's get set to get down to the track shortly. In about, 2 minutes time, we'll have a quick chance to look at qualifying results. This is how they will line up. It will be Michael Dumbrell on pole position tonight. What a great job. He's put himself ahead there by 8 thousandths of a second over Greg Favell. Jeff Thomas in P3. McCune, Stewart, Gamble, Nitschke down in 7th. The man who is trying to attack for this win tonight. And obviously a championship on the line. It's McKnight down in 8th. Visma and Crosby running out your top 10. We'll go through the full grid shortly as we go live for this final round. Welcome. Let's get into this. Couple of facts about tonight before we go down for the grid, and it was Rick Viger that gave me some great information, as he always does, and he has throughout this season. 70 laps tonight, maximum fuel burn, about 3.25 litres per lap with a starting tank of 60 litres, which will get you about 18 laps into the race. You can then put 110 litres in, so 33 to 34 laps to critical laps tonight, lap 2 and lap 36. So we'll keep an eye out for that, of course. And, who will try something a little bit maybe left of centre on the strategy? Maybe Nitschke, starting from a little bit further back. Maybe it's his chance to just try something a little bit different. And, I guess he can take that risk. He hasn't put himself on pole. Dumbrella's done just that tonight. And what a great way to finish his season. A season where we've seen lots of up and downs. We're going to see Sandown in next season's build, of course. It's just coming out in a couple of days. And that's pretty exciting as we see Scott Gamble, who is another talking point of this season. He's elevated through from split 3 up into split 1 through some great performances, but also some history there as well. And it's fantastic to see him once again at the top. Jake Neasy says, good luck tonight, McKnight Missile. Send it, Goat. Evening, says Will Wilson. Hello, mate. And a shout out to Greg for last night. Yeah, he didn't do well last night in the Pro Invitational Series. Greg Favell duking it out with the big boys last night. Let's go to the grid, though, for tonight's final race. 300 kilometres around this fantastic Brazilian circuit. It is Mr. Dumbrell at the front row with Jeff Favell starting out of P2. Second row, Jeff Thomas and Scott McCune. Then it's Michael Stewart and Scott Gamble. Great qualifying for Gamble up there in 6th place. Nitschke and McKnight start on the 4th row. Vismer, Crosby, Nickel and Heddershield rounding out your top 12 tonight for the race. Dumbrell, of course, on pole position with a clear look down. You can see him. He's just now gridded up. But Brenton O'Brien starts from 13th tonight. Greg Sharp alongside him. Dan Hall and Paul Young in 15th and 16th. Andrew Ritchie, Kennedy, Smart and Vanderkran down there in 20th place. Damien Cairns will start from 21st on the grid with Vargs, Hansen and Banks, your top 24. 25th on the grid tonight. Goosey with Chris Barrage, Darren Shannon and Dave Coleman in the safety car, standing by if he's needed tonight. Very small field here in split number 1 with I think a lot of the drivers with the championship run and done having a night off, and hopefully they're at least tuning in to watch. We have got a massive grid of cars lined up for next season with over 100 drivers. There's going to be 45 in the top split and I think 45 in the next 2 splits, so it's a massive field of drivers lining up for season number 12 when that gets underway in a couple of weeks time. So we look at the grid just forming up now. The final drivers just loading in and getting themselves ready to go on the green. You can see there's a good run down to turn 1. The center S, of course, will be a talking point. Who can make it through here without any incident at the start? That will be a key point as well. We've got 3 minutes of staging time if needed. Stephen Varga hasn't joined us yet. Everyone else is on the grid for, well, like I said, a smallish grid tonight, 27 cars. Eddie with the 500 stars. Thanks for last night too, Eddie. Appreciate everyone. I was doing the background production on last night's Pro Invitational, so I couldn't say anything, but I did see some stars float through and I thought, thank you very much. You're very generous, and what a good way to finish off this season. We have seen a bit of everything, some upsets, some fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing, and tonight we see the finale. Watch Dumbrell off the front row. Can he get a jump here and get away well? Good jump off the second row. Jeff Thomas got away, but so did Dumbrell and Favell. I think a little bit better, in fact, down towards turn 1. I think Favell's going to go on the inside and go through into the lead of the race. Through the center S's, so far so good. In the background there's a bit of contact, a couple of cars off. One of the M1 racing cars off in the fence. Favell has got the perfect getaway though for his championship hopes tonight, and he heads down the hill in the braking zone. You can see Jeff Thomas having a look at McCune. He lost a spot off the start. Gamble fights back and gets a position back that he lost as well. As down the inside we've got Brenton O'Brien up 1 position, Sharp's up a position as well. Nice getaway for those drivers in this opening exchange. Favell out in front though, looking good though, with already half a second margin over Dumbrell. There's McCune, Thomas in behind in 4th place. Gamble has dropped that 1 spot. McKnight has held the same position he started. He's just being challenged there by Vismer and also Nickel and Heddershield, almost getting together in the background. Those drivers very, very close. Wheel-to-wheel racing on this opening lap of the race. It's a long, long way to go. No point throwing it into the weeds this early on in the night. Favell picks up how he has all season long and disappears off into the distance with half a second now. This lead as we get into the big run up the hill now here in Interlagos. It's a good slipstreaming opportunity. We'll see the drivers probably just, like as they do each week, tuck into a little bit of a fuel saving pattern now for the first stint of this race. Deborah with the 200 stars. She's tuning in tonight to hopefully see Greg bring home the bacon. 1 minute 38 from a standing start. They cross the line and head down through the center S's here in the opening lap, and there's the overhead shot. Just shows how close it is, with Dumbrell hanging in at the moment, P2. Just watching a couple of drivers back down the order a little bit as I just fine-tune a few audio levels here. Had to change everything for the Pro Invitational. We're just getting it back up into scratch now, so just doing a reference quickly. But as you can see there, Visma, Stewart, Heddershield, they're all in this little midfield battle. Brenton Nitschke did make up 2 spots at the start in that juiced Frog Leap racing car, so for his championship he really needs to at least make sure he's up there fighting for a win, and I guess crossing everything that Greg falls upon a little bit of trouble, but we don't wish that upon Greg Favell. Definitely is someone who probably deserves to win this championship after such a big fight for the last 11 rounds. But for the excitement, the battle we've got going on, it's great to see Nitschke moving his way forward. Next up the road for him, Jeff Thomas. Look how quick they head up the hill here. Look at that shot from the side wall camera. The speed as they cross the start-finish line, incredible. A 1:32.4, new fastest lap for Favell at the front. And I get to see Scott Gamble, who started 6th, running 6th, has now got Jamie McKnight. About to give him a little bit of company, some close company from Jamie McKnight. 7th place, 3 laps into a 70-lap race tonight. When Ben Anthony earlier tonight, he said, "Hey Luke, it's 300k, 70 laps tonight." 70 laps, I said. That's like an F1 length. We'll be doing this for all night. It's going to be about an hour, I reckon, an hour and 50 minutes of racing tonight. That's my guess. Just doing a little bit of quick maths, maybe a little bit shorter, depending on how many times we have to go to a full course caution, of course, as well. Some battles back down the order. Actually, let's go forward a little bit. Look at this. Brenton O'Brien racing here with Paul Young. Dan Hall's just in front of them. And Brenton, with the elbows out, just lost a couple of positions on this lap. Now he's got 2. He's inside. That's Christian Smart having a little bit of a look-see daisy. And Smart now tucks right up underneath the Evolution Racing Team driver's rear wing. And he goes to the inside with a dive. Now Christian Smart gets the overlap. We won't see anything from that angle, but there you go. From this angle you can see Brenton keeps the boot in on the inside and holds position, so really fending off the charge here from Christian Smart. Well, Smart's up 3 positions. We'll jump on board with him as he now heads up this long climb up the hill. He gets an overlap already. Brenton hangs out wide. Christian will run the tight line to the fence. Check it out. To wheel over the start finish line, down the inside. Christian Smart has a big look, and Brenton just gets out of the throttle there, lets him go through. Down the hill we go. The Logitech G car will try and listen into a little bit of the chatter tonight from the drivers as well. A little bit of chat there from O'Brien. I'm not sure if just getting race control to look at something. Was there a little bit of door-to-door action prior to the overtake? I wonder. Have a look and see if there's any damage on the Logitech car. I can't see any. Smart's car looks pretty clear and smart as well. Nothing wrong there. And Damien Cairns back there at the moment, sitting in 18th. Has made up 3 spots. The opening portion of this race, Hansen, Banks, Goosey and Barrage behind him. P20, usually it's midfield in top split. Right now it's right at the back with only 27 drivers out on the racetrack tonight. Favell's put that margin out now to 1.5 seconds and starting to disappear off into the distance. We've got John Reynolds in the house. Margaret Favell says, "Come on Greg, Mum's watching." He'll be very happy with that, and he's doing an incredible job as always. So how's everyone doing tonight, by the way? We've got Steve Murray saying Wayne Lecomte split 2, sends his regards. He's still having internet problems. That's not good to hear. But hello back to you, my friend. As we see in the background, it's just starting to gap out a little bit. The gap between 4th and 5th, importantly, is 2.4 seconds. Now that is between Jeff Thomas and Nitschke, who is P2 in the championship. And just quickly, we'll run through those points. This is how close the championship is coming into this final round tonight. Favell on top, 14.35 versus 13.88 for Nitschke. Duggan, who's not racing tonight, will maybe lose that position to Stewie Hall if he has a good result tonight as well for P3 in the championship. And we'll see how that pans out a little bit later. Stewie at the moment, where is he? Just as I look down the list, is he out there tonight? He is battling for that position, so I hope he's rocked up as well. I don't think he has. So there you go. We may see a guy who's not racing in the final race still claim 3rd position, Mark Duggan. I'm not sure if Duggan is coming back next season either. There's a bit of talk here and there and thereabouts. So this is Tim Nicol, Dan Hall and Paul Young having a little bit of a look now as he gets alongside the Logitech G car and tries for an overtake. Then he goes back to the inside. There is plenty of rubbing racing going on here in this opening exchange between the drivers. Race Control will be watching with an eagle eye, no doubt. A big thanks to Race Control. Tonight I'll run through who we've got here for this server. Of course, there's 3 servers going on right now. And in top split we've got the legendary Dave Coleman and James Chastity. Big thanks to them. And Anthony and Brian Goody over in split 2. Josh Drag and Martin Lofthouse also split 3 tonight. So whilst all this racing is going on, there is a lot of admin power behind the scenes making sure this all runs smoothly. Good fight here between Visma and Sharp. Up the order a little bit. Nitschke has still got Scott Gamble absolutely glued to the back end of this juice car. So the Evolution Racing team, Scotty Gamble pushing along very, very well indeed. Having a look now, and I tell you what, if there's a strong race tonight, the final race of the season for Scott Gamble, if he can finish up here in the top 6 or even in the top 5, gee, that puts him in a good position for next season to kick off. Remember, he hasn't raced in this split for the full season. He came about I think about 3/4 of the way through to do the final part of the season, and he's performed very, very well. And he looks like he's got a little bit of pace right now over the man who is P2 in the championship. So very, very good. Scotty Gamble on fire again tonight. Jacob Neasy says, putting my son to sleep while watching this amazing stream on the TV. That's awesome. Thanks, man. Will Wilson says the big arms up for the admin as well. Yep, they do an incredible job. It's an unsung and quite often not very well thanked job. And they are there making some very hard decisions on the fly. So big ups to them. Big thanks. Favell still leads here. Lap 6, about to start lap 7. And gee whiz, he looks good, doesn't he? He's already got the gap out to over 2 seconds. Greg Favell on fire. Let's go back down to Christian Smart. He's on the move. He's up 4 positions now into the top 15. We will go across shortly and check out our driver cameras, which we've been lucky enough to get full access to again tonight. These fantastic 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers that week in, week out give us access to their driver cameras. It does make for a spectacle. Well, let's see if we can't just go head across now and jump in on a few of those and see who we've got in the house. We've got Christian Smart isn't there, but we do have Damien Cairns on there tonight. So let's have a quick look at Damien, and we'll flick down and find how he's going in the order as well, as we tend to do. We chase our driver cams. There is Damien, currently sitting in 18th place, up 3. Taipan eSports. Love the fact he's gone to the bother of putting the big Taipan banner behind him as well, and just looks very cool, doesn't it? It's got a bit of duct tape up, holding it on the wall. The blue light behind it as well. Looks very, very cool. So Damien at the moment chasing down Andrew Ritchie for the Banter Alliance Racing Team P17. He's one of the only drivers in this mid-pack that hasn't made any positions or lost any. Andrew Ritchie started 17th, runs 17th, whereas Damien Cairns up 3, Marty Hansen's up 4, Stephen Banks up 4, and Chris Barrage up 5 spots there as well in P21. So lots of moving and shaking going on in this mid-pack. As they cross the line, we'll go and find our second driver camera for the night, and it is the wonderful Jeff Thomas, currently sitting in P4, and he is working that steering wheel. I was just watching a little bit of that off screen as he goes down through the center S's, the back end of the car squirming around and shake, rattle and roll, and he just gets a little bit of a break there, takes a hand off the wheel, and he's keeping in touch with the top 3, who are separated by 3.2 seconds. The top second back to 4th position, separated by less than a second, as Darren Shannon, I think, has just crashed out. Where is he? That's not ideal, is it? Now, has he picked it back up again? We'll try and just get across in a second and find you a shot of Darren. And he's all the way back in 25th place. And he's running okay, but he has, I presume, lost a little bit of, that right-hand side of the car has been swiped up against the fence. So we can't get a replay of that. So it was down in towards turn 1. Let's have a quick little look and see if he drops here on the exit. Just ran a little bit of understeer, and then it spun around and wiped out the fence. So awkward little crash, that one for Darren. Spun around and got back into it, but that is what has happened to push him way back now. And, he's almost 33 seconds off the lead this early in the race. Greg Favell doing a wonderful job though. P1 out in front, 2.5 seconds. Incredible, he is flying. Let's jump on board. Watch through this middle section how smooth he looks. He's definitely got this car dialed in. Remember, it is a fixed setup race. The drivers have this wonderful setup each week that is donated to them from Jamie McKnight, and it is so wonderful to race in a series where they get that sort of assistance. They don't have to spend hours and hours each week trying to sort out a setup, which is probably one of the hardest things to do in iRacing, is to understand the characteristics of the car versus the circuit, and to be able to get out there and just fine-tune that. There's not a lot of people that can do that well and know exactly what adjustments need to be made to rectify little problems that you have along the way. Right on board with Marty Hansen up the hill now. He's flying, isn't he? Let's see if he can't just get a little bit closer here to Richie. He's up 5 spots, Marty Hansen. So the Taipan eSports boys are doing well, and he's in the pits. So here we go. First driver to come in for a pit stop tonight, and into the lane very, very early. Remember though that the pit window does open lap 2, and he will run this first one as a short stint. He'll now put 110 litre, or fill it up to 110 litre capacity, and run a massive middle stint of this race. Will Wilson says there's a reason Favell is 2.5 in front, smooth as butter. Yeah, he is smooth as butter, as we see some wheel-to-wheel racing here between Visma, Sharp and Dan Hall, almost making it 3 wide as he gets the overlap. He keeps the boot into it. Nice job, Dan Hall, for Evolution Racing, down the inside on the Penrite car now of Greg Sharp, and he should be able to make that stick. Gee whiz, that's close. Sharpie tries to go around the outside, now keeps the boot in, gets out on the marbles. He gets a good exit, punches right up behind Dan Hall, but Dan Hall shuts the gate and says, "You're not coming through there, son. That's my position, P11." Look at Paul Young in the background as well. 3 positions he's made tonight, and chasing down Greg Sharp currently. Let's right on board with him for a moment. This little quartet with Christian Smart then just starting to bolt himself onto the back of Paul Young. Then Nickel, O'Brien, Richie, Banks, Barrage. Bit of wheel spin there for Greg Sharp. That'll help Young get an overlap up the hill. Almost made some contact as he runs wheel to wheel now, and Sharp just gives him about half a car width as they go up towards the start finish line. And it should be Young down the inside into the braking zone. There's a wobble, a lock up as well, and around the outside Greg Sharp holds on, and look out, open the door. Christian Smart will enter, and he will eat your cookies and drink your milk as well. He almost got through there. Christian Smart will ride on board with him down the hill. Oh, look at the big block there from Paul Young. He said, "Smart, you're going to go the long way around here," and Smart says, "I will." And he does go off the track. Those are a little bit of contact between the two of them. Gee, they're racing hard, those two. So Young holds on for now to that 13th place position. Christian Smart, meanwhile, will be, well, he wouldn't have enjoyed that, but he'll be ready to take 2 and try it all over again very, very soon. And well done. There is Michael Dumbrell, who P2 at the moment, started from pole position tonight after that fantastic qualifying effort. He's got his teammate as a rear gunner tonight. So as we look back from Dumbrell's car, there's Scott McCune, and then Jeff Thomas, Nitschke, Gamble, McKnight, Stewart, Heddershield, and Visma, your top 10, lap 11 of 70. A couple of comments coming through. We've got Laurie saying, "Put the bloody thing into top gear, Christian." And Peter Morris, "I'm looking forward to coming out of isolation this weekend." Peter, that's good news, mate. As someone who has had the 7-day isolation this year, it wasn't that much fun. as we watch Favel. 2.7 now clear, continuing to eke that margin out. I'm watching Gamble in the background. He's dropped off the back of Nitschke a little bit, and McKnight as well. Massive fuel saving moment for these drivers, no doubt. McKnight's last lap was identical to Gamble's to the 100th of a second there, 133.42. Those drivers have backed off about half a second from their ultimate pace, I would think, at this stage of the race. You can see your race leader, Greg Favel. He did a 32.4, fastest lap of the race. He's now about a second off that pace as he just manages the gap and also manages the tyres and the amount of fuel that's going through this beautiful Holden Commodore before his first stop. So the word that came through earlier tonight from Rick Weiger was that with a 3.25 litre fuel burn around this track, which should be pretty much the average for everyone, and a 60 litre starting capacity, you should get about 18 laps. So lap 12 now, we're expecting to see a lot of cars in about 6 laps of time as we watch McKnight closing up onto the back of Scott Gamble with a great tow. He's thinking about going down the inside, Jamie McKnight, but then he just backs out underneath the True Force Logitech G rear wing. McKnight stays for another lap here. He'll be well aware that he's 6.1, 6.2 seconds now back from the lead of this race. And how mega was the drive, as I just think back to last season, season 10, that final race where McKnight had 2 drive-through penalties and he still fought his way back to not win the race but to win the championship with an incredible drive. So anything could happen tonight, but he will be, like I said, well aware that that gap's already 6.1. Huge gap behind then to Michael Stewart, though. It's almost 4 seconds between 7th and 8th place, and further back Hedershield, Bismer, and then you've got Dan Hall. He's fighting with Bismer, and Greg Sharp has just dropped back a little bit now after fighting with Christian Smart, who's probably still licking his wounds. He's ahead of Young and Nickel and Brenton O'Brien, your top 16. So impressive first part of this race, 13 laps in. Let's see if anyone else decides to come in on this lap for a pit stop. We'll wait and see. So far, the only drivers that have, Stephen Varga back in 23rd. He's the top driver that has stopped. Just shows that gap, doesn't it? 3 seconds now, first back to second. And so far we haven't needed a safety car, which is, well, a little bit surprising. Interlagos, generally the center S's can cause great pile up at the start of the race. We didn't really see that. We did see a couple of cars go off. We might try and pick up, I think Darren Shannon may have been the first one. So let's just check out a quick replay from the start of the race. So this was the get-go. This is Shannon at the back. I just want to see if he gets nailed here by someone. He ended up off the road. So, oh no, he just lost it by himself. There's already the M1 car in the fence. And unfortunately, I think he tagged another driver at the back there as well. Might have been Matt Van der Kraan that got tagged at the back. So that was the first incident. Then it was Stephen Kennedy. Let's have a quick look at that. Now, Stephen Kennedy may have got turned around here as well. He was on the outside, and then it becomes the inside. And what happens here to Kennedy? Oh, he also just dropped it up on the curb and then out of harm's way. But there's 2 incidents from the start of the race that made notable mentions on our timing sheet here. Let's go back to Christian Smart now. Jump on board with him in this Holden Commodore. There's a pack of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Holden Commodores in a row here between 9th place and 18th place, so plenty of them. Good battle going on as well. It's Greg Sharp and Dan Hall has a look once again at the back of Anthony Visma, then tucks back in. Greg Sharp closes right up under brakes, thinks about a dive down the inside, but then thinks better of it. Lap 15 of 70 now. By the way, a little bit of trivia for those watching tonight. As Peter Morris says, what is rather criteria to determine what split you're in. So they do a pre-qualifying, which is about to get underway, I believe. Maybe tomorrow night they start pre-qualifying for next season. So the top 20 automatically stay in split 1. So they're in split 1 now. The top 20 will automatically go through. So the majority of the drivers you're seeing here tonight in the top of this split will go through to next season. Then the top 3 from split 2 automatically progress up to split 1. So we'll see 3 drivers pop up from there automatically. Then the other positions, which I believe is 22 to make it a 45 race car field, will be done on qualifying time. So Peter, that's how that's how it will sort itself out, and we'll know just prior to round 1 which drivers are determined to run in split 1 next season. We do split 2 tomorrow night, so stay tuned for that as well. Young looking very racy here, making a little bit of contact, I think, with the back of the Penrite car as they head up the hill towards the start finish line. And now he just ducks to the inside. Got to be super careful through here. He dives in. Oh, there's contact. There is contact. We might hear a blow up here on the radio, I reckon, because this has been brewing lap after lap. Like I said, it's been brewing, that one, and it finally came to fruition. Let's have a quick look on the small screen replays. Young drops all the way back to his Stephen Banks. So we just have a look. He dove down the inside. Now, did he lose it, or was there a bit of net code there possibly as well? Interesting. We'll just try and have a bit of a better look at that if we can find the replay. I don't think we will. If I can find it, I'll see if we can suss out a little bit better. Maybe an overhead view might tell us a different story there. Let's have a look now from this, and I might fly the chopper over this. So this was end of the straight. We're going to just pick it up. Where's Paul Young? Oh, this is just up the road a little bit, so back it up a little bit from there and slow-mo it. So they got together just on the mid part of the corner now there. Oh, looks like a bit of net code to me. The back end of Young's car just lights up and heads him off into the barrier. So, unfortunate for Young. I think they'll probably deem that just a racing incident and move on. We'll wait and see what the Stewarts come back with shortly. Favell now 3.2 in front, and we're expecting, we're probably a lap or 2 now away from a massive amount of pit stops. Christine says, "Hey Luke, thanks for an awesome season. Have a great race." Damien Cairns. Thanks, Christine. It's been great having you as part of the crew, obviously watching along and giving your input. And Damien, well, I think we've got to thank you, don't we, for Damien's fantastic viewing angle. I think you helped him sort all that out, and it's got one of the best webcams we've got now. There it is. It looks incredible. So well done on that. And he currently sits down in 22nd position, dropping 1 spot so far in the race. But importantly for Cairns, he has stopped on lap 8, took 28 seconds worth of fuel. So a little bit more fuel than Stephen Varga, who's the next car up the road in front of him. You can just see Varga now in the foreground. And that means Cairns will probably leapfrog him in the next pit stop. Keep an eye on the race leader though, because I think we're getting close to seeing him jump into the pits. And here we go, on cue. Greg Favell in for his first pit stop. Right on lap 18, he will fuel this to the brim. Everyone else has gone through. So maybe he has been using a little bit more fuel out in front, or he's just trying to play it safe tonight. But Favell will come in. Haddishield comes in as well. So does Visma. And Christian Smart's coming in as well. Dumbrell has retaken the lead of this race. And Scott McCune running with him. We haven't had a look at Scotty McCune's camera yet. We'll have a quick flick over to that now and watch him challenge his teammate on what will be an in-lap tonight. So Scotty tucked up there as well. We've got Michael Stewart also doing an incredible job tonight in 6th position. So the Hypersonic Racing team is having a mega run tonight. And there's Stewie Camp, Michael Stewart for Hypersonic Racing, doing a fantastic job. Down the gears he goes. And around this
No
twist
further
here.
action for incident on lap 16.
There you go, race control, no further action. So that's the Paul Young one. We'll see if Young does the right thing and doesn't answer back to the race control. So they deemed that that was not worthy of any sort of points deduction or penalties. Where's Nitschke? Well, big news, isn't it? He's out of the race. So lap 14.74, we lost Nitschke tonight, which will basically hand the championship, as we see a massive amount of progression into the pit lane now. Here they go into the pit set. Oh, look who stays out though, as everyone comes into the pits. Yours truly, the man who can save fuel. It's almost like he has to pay for the fuel. He saves it so well. He's just jumped through to the lead of this race. Jamie McKnight for Synergy Sim Racing, well done. I'm just looking back to see if I can find any sort of incident for Nitschke, who I think, I'm going to hazard a guess that maybe he has had some sort of internet drama tonight, because he just disappeared completely off our radar on that lap 14. So I don't know. It's pretty heartbreaking, isn't it, when you've done so well through the championship. He will finish second in the championship, I believe, but not the way he would have wanted to finish this final round. Lap 19 of 70. Brenton O'Brien moves up into P2. So nice job by the Logitech G legend Evolution Racing team. And then Greg Favell, who has made a stop, took 39 seconds worth of fuel. So he has put every bit of 110 litres in that car. Sits in P3. McKnight comes into the pits now from the lead of the race. This is Christian Smart and Scott McCune, and Christian moving himself up into P10 now. Nice job to get ahead of McCune. Let's see where McKnight comes back out. O'Brien's in the lane. Where is Favell? He's just coming through the twisties now, isn't he? Up towards what I call the final corner, but heads you up onto that kinking run up towards the flag. And McKnight may just try for a little bit of a short stop here. You know what? I didn't think he was in the ballpark to be anywhere near the lead of this race, but let's just watch. He's at 23 seconds now stationary. Bell's just coming up towards the pit entry now. McKnight's still on the jacks. He's going to drop down shortly. He's taken 33 seconds worth of fuel now. And Favell goes through. Haddishield goes up into P2 with that shorter stop. Now what we've got is some alternate strategies going on tonight. So Simon Haddishield there in P2 for Fully Flawed Racing. He's been able to jump up 10 positions in this race, and a lot of that is from taking around 13 seconds less fuel in the first stop. Was that a car off in the background? No, it wasn't. It was just Scotty Gamble running a little bit wide, I think, out of there. Okay, in fact, it could have been Stephen Varga running slightly wide, bottom of the hill. So we'll run you through the numbers shortly on how much fuel was taken. Don't forget, you can look at this live, RACESTARSTV.com. We do have our live timing over there, which gives you that sort of insight for all the fuel numbers and that sort of thing. But I can bring it up on the screen shortly, as I thought we're going to see an overtake there. Damien Cairns, who's got himself in the fight well tonight, up 16 places now into the top 5. He's another driver that took a shortish stop, so 28 seconds. So here's the variant. We'll look at the pit strategy board. There it is up on your screen. And then let's have a look and compare on the left-hand side the actual pit stop time. So the pit stop time is how long they're stationary for and how much fuel is put in the car. So at the top there, 39.6 for Favell, a long stop. That's pretty much the full 110 litres going in. 26.3 Haddishield, short stop, got him jumped up positions. 34.7 for Thomas and 24.3 for Varga. So once again, Stephen Varga's gone that short first pit stop, which has leapfrogged him up into P4. 28.1 for Cairns, a 40.2 for Gamble, a 44.9 for Dumbrell. A very long stop for Dumbrell there back in 7th. Both drivers have put a lot of fuel in the car. McCune and McKnight put in 45.7. So Jamie McKnight has absolutely chock-a-block full of fuel, that car as well. So it's interesting to note those different strategy calls tonight and how that will play out, because the second pit stop, which will come around lap, let's say around lap 36, I think it was from memory. We'll have a quick reference back to Rick's comments, which have just evaded me. It was, yeah, lap 36, I was right. They can bring it home from there with around 33 to 34 laps worth of fuel in the car. So people like Jamie McKnight have chosen to run this middle stint with quite a heavy car. They'll fuel it right up. They'll do a splash and dash at the end of this race to bring it home. So interesting. I like it. I like that we've got alternate strategies within this big field tonight. O'Brien has dropped back into 16th now behind Michael Stewart after his pit stop. Let's jump on board. Sharp all over the back of Brenton O'Brien. We're looking from the Evolution Racing Team car back right now, and the 747 of Greg Sharp, Coda Sim Sports, trying to find his way through. If he can stay this close through these final couple of sections as O'Brien just locks up slightly, Greg Sharp should get a good enough run up the straight. We saw this overtake happen maybe 10 or so laps ago, and O'Brien didn't put up too much of a fight. Stewart also under pressure now from the Logitech car, but that actually put O'Brien a little bit on the back foot, I think, coming onto this big long straightaway, and he'll be a sitting duck at the end of the straight now to Greg Sharp. Let's jump on the front of Greg Sharp's car, because which way will he go? Will Brenton try and defend? No, he doesn't. He just holds his line. Sharp will go down the inside and have a good run through, and should come out the other side in front. O'Brien just tucks in behind now and says, right, yeah, I'm not really racing you, that's not my fight tonight, and he pushes on. So good job, Varga and Gamble here fighting over the top 4 position. Stephen Varga at the moment holds 4th down the inside. This is helping Cairns also get very interested. Gamble tries to go round the outside. Incredible job, Scotty Gamble there. Look in the background, you've got Cairns and Dumbrell as Gamble punches it down the inside. Then he gets a little bit sideways. Dumbrell almost went into the back, and look at Christian Smart. I tell you what, he didn't need a second invitation. He saw that little concertina effect in front, and he's gone in big time, and that's McCune who's gone around. So Scotty McCune on the grass for HSR. Did he get a little bit of help there to spin him? I didn't note any major contact there. Let's have a listen in, whether or not he calls out to race control to have a look.
There's a car there, Mike. Race control. That's me looking at. I'm straight over on there.
So O'Brien has just been punted by the sounds of things. You can see the damage on the back of that car, and he's called out to race control to please go and have a look. So let's have a look at that first of all. This one might be a slam dunk penalty. So there's O'Brien. Now, what happens there? Oh, so big incident for O'Brien. Let's just back that up a little bit. So was that McCune? No, it wasn't McCune, was it? So let's have a look. It's the 919, which is we just go up a little bit there. The 919 has come across and given him quite a big hip and shoulder. That was Michael Stewart, unfortunately. So let's have a quick look at that from Stewart's perspective. So he's obviously moved across, not knowing that O'Brien's there. This is the onboard. And we'll go to Hamburger Cam and have a look. So he comes out of the corner, then he moves across to the right. Now O'Brien had enough overlap there to warrant a bit of real estate, and unfortunately Stewart has given him a bit of a heave-ho there. The other incident was the Scott McCune one, so we'll have a quick look at that as well. This is the McCune. Did he do this by himself? Oh, I think he's just lit it up by himself in the air. So that's what's happened to Scotty, sadly, and that's why he went around. So that's why there was no call out to race control. He knew that he just had to wear that little mistake. So a couple of incidents just creeping in here. Lap 24, lap 25. As we approach the halfway point, still another 10 laps away. It's, like I said, it's a lengthy race tonight. 300 kilometers, the big one to finish off this season. And then we start to think about next season, don't we, already? So it's going to be fun, isn't it? We're heading to Belle Isle to kick it off on the 16th of June. Then Le Mans, then Oran Park, Laguna Seca, Sonoma, Monza, Sebring. I think Sonoma may be the one that's being replaced from memory with Sandown. Then Monza. We go to Sebring, Phillip Island, Suzuka, the Nordschleife, Imola and Alden Park. So big season 12 kicking off very, very soon. If you want to be involved, well, you're too late. It's locked in, plenty of drivers. It's going to be massive. 3 splits. I do 2. The legend over at WKMP does the other one, John Van Ree, which will kick off after our split 2 broadcast tomorrow night. And we may, I'll have to talk to Ben Anthony, but we may kick off the split 2 broadcast a little bit earlier tomorrow night, depending on how things go, because I've got an early start on Saturday. I don't want to be up too late on my Friday night for these 300 kilometre races. So we're just having a look there at Dumbrell, Gamble in 5th now, and Stephen Varga. I'll just remind you that he is on that shorter strategy. He's only stopped for 24 seconds. And what he managed to do in that is jump up 18 positions up into the top 4. So he's looking very, very racy tonight. In the background, Christian Smart still just weaving, toing and froing, trying to find a way through. He's got McKnight now attached to the back of him. So Jamie, who took 45 seconds worth of fuel, that's an extra 10 seconds on Christian Smart, who's leaning on the back of Damien Cairns. That was so close. Here's a look out the back of Cairns. You can see there's Christian. He jumps out of the mirrors every chance he can get. That 999 Synergy Sim racing car. It's like a menace, isn't it? It is applying the pressure as he once again dives out of the mirrors. Now he looks back to the inside. How much weaving can you do? I'm not sure if the stewards, I guess it's if you're the following car, you can do whatever you like, but to what point as he now dives down the inside? He just keeps Damien guessing here. Damien will have the inside now for the left-hander. McKnight will get the bird's eye view of this. Let's jump on board with him. Oh, Brenton, I think he's
re-entry there.
gone out again, so just trying to... So a second incident that Brenton O'Brien has been involved in there, and looks like get your replay, I will. So Stephen Varga in for his second pit stop now. I'm just going to have a quick look at this Brenton O'Brien pass on Stephen Banks. See if this was what was just talked about. I don't think he's not with anyone here at this point, so I don't think we're going to see anything too special. I think Stephen Banks was actually in the pit lane at that time. Oh no, there it was there. So it was that incident. Let's just roll that back a bit. So this was Banks recovering from a spin, and we'll see from the onboard here with O'Brien, he just has to dodge off the racetrack, and hence why race control need to look at that one. Now you're probably thinking, well, how would he know that O'Brien's coming around the corner? Well, we've all got a relative, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, that little battle box all the drivers have that in their car, and they generally know where the next driver is. So obviously if you've got someone coming up behind you, they're going to be very, very close on that relative within sort of a second. So okay, let's have a quick look at Mr. Stewart. And someone pointed out he's got a beer and a water bottle there. Very good. Very observant. And Michael at the moment down there in 14th place. I love being able to see the VR view that they've got on their screen there. Obviously he's got the fan on because it gets quite warm around the eyeballs when you're using a VR headset. But isn't it great just to have this vision of the drivers in the flesh? Quite often you forget that there's actually real people driving these cars. It's not just a computer game. This is real sim racing. And look at Christian Smart still all over the back of Scotty Gamble now, and has a look down the inside. He's going to go down there, and he almost Dumbrell almost got tagged there, but Christian got through, did he? Gamble's going to drop back in behind now, and he's on the move, isn't he? Christian Smart up 14 spots now. Gamble on the headlights, probably just letting Christian know, hey, that's a bit rude. Like I said, he's come out firing tonight. Christian Smart doesn't need an invitation at all to fight. And look at that, McKnight follows Gamble through as well. Past Cairns up into 7th place. Damien drops back to 8th now. Dan Hall next up the road. But let's just keep an eye on Christian Smart. Let's see how aggressive he is on the attack now. Michael Dumbrell. This might be a little bit harder. I reckon Dumbrell, who's carrying a lot of pace tonight around this circuit, qualified on pole position. 28 laps in since P4 in the race, but I reckon thinks he can, maybe get a top 3 tonight. Let's have a look at Dumbrell from on board, looking back as Christian Smart fills his mirrors. He goes to the inside now for the overlap. Down the inside he goes from the door camera. You'll see him appear, and that should be job done. Dumbrell doesn't put up too much of a fight down through the centre S as they go. And will Dumbrell try and get him back? Quite often you can see them retaliate down towards turn 4. But all the while you've got to be careful. Gamble close enough to also have a lunge. If you make any sort of mistake, you get it wrong.
Turn 1 bar.
Will wants to know, what's the sponsor on Smart's roof? I can have a look at that for you.
Both of those incidents will be looked at further after the race is done.
So both incidents will be looked at post-race for the O'Brien incidents. Get a look at the sponsor on the roof there, I'm not sure. We'll have to get them to, if he gets on the podium tonight, he can let us know. Aftershock, that's what it is. So Aftershock is the sponsor on the roof there of Christian Smart's car, and I'm pretty sure it's on the other Synergy cars as well. Have a quick look at the top of Jamie McKnight's car as well. Yeah, they've all got the same. So good to see those real world sponsors picking up these sim racing legends and getting behind them. Speaking of legends, out in front by a country mile and a country fair is Greg Favell, off on his way to win a championship. Favell, Dave says, tell the story of your people's favorite. Not sure what that means. And what's your day job? Management now. So yeah, I'm working in management. So watch this Favell, Thomas, Hattershield, Smart, Dumbrell, Gamble, McKnight, Cairns in this little battle. It's sort of just holding station now. We are about 6 laps off that critical lap where you can fuel it to bring it home. At the moment, of the 2 stoppers, we've only got Stephen Varga down in 22nd position now. He's currently 43 seconds, is it? No, it's a lot more than that. It's a bit over a minute, I think, off the lead of this race. As Dumbrell and Gamble skirmish again. Watch, oh, McKnight. McKnight had to get out of the throttle then as Gamble swung across the racetrack. He was trying to weave around Dumbrell. McKnight tried to seize the opportunity, and there's a lot going on, I can tell you now, because the run up the straightaway, here's a look. I think Gamble's replied to McKnight then, said, hey, I'm racing for track position. Just watch the bottom of your screen as we stay live at the top. So Gamble swings across here to block the inside line there to take the corner, and McKnight was almost up alongside or having a lunge. So that's why McKnight jumped on and basically said, hey, I think take it careful. That's exactly why. Let's jump on board with Jamie, Synergy Sim Racing P7. Scott Gamble really has put on a great performance tonight ahead of McKnight, Cairns, Hall and Visma for your top 10. We've got a lot of battles left to go though, haven't we? It's a long way to go still tonight. 31 of 70 laps. Christine says, hey Luke, haven't you been promising a picture of you for a few weeks now? Why is everyone so obsessed with this? Oh my gosh. I literally do not have a picture on this. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me just try and be a little bit tricky here for a moment. I can show you an old picture. So let me just have a look. This one's from a couple of years ago now. But if I just quickly do this, this will hopefully keep everyone quiet for now. I've just got to make sure I mute this as well. Flick this across onto my share screen. So there you go. There's a little bit of yours truly. Somewhere there he is. There you go. Seen enough? Righto. You don't need to see anymore. Thanks, Christine. Right, back to the action, back to the real stuff. That's why I'm here tonight, isn't it? I always said this is not about me. This is just about having some fun, sim racing. This is about these drivers and the battles they can have. And I was actually, prior to the broadcast, and I was thinking, how the heck on a Thursday night can these guys have the energy to get in here and race almost 2 hours straight? It's not easy. I know I couldn't do it. I reckon I'd get maybe about to here 50 minutes in and I would be absolutely spent. My arms would be jelly. These guys somehow they just push on and on and on. Gamble fifth now, fighting really well with Dumbrell. Gets through on him. You can just see the facial expression there on Dumbrell. He just, well, he doesn't give up though, does he? He's like a little bull terrier. Just nipping at the heels here is Scotty Gamble. He runs a little bit wide on corner exit. That'll open the door to McKnight. And I reckon McKnight, I thought he was going to be right there on the side window, but he's not. He's close, so look at that. Jamie McKnight, which way he's going to go? He's almost giving a bit of a bumperoony. He does give a little bit of Morse code to the back end of Dumbrell's car, and then he goes down the inside. Wow, good job. And in the background, Cairns is also part of that. McKnight moves himself up another position at the expense of Michael Dumbrell, now back into 7th place. So, great fight. Meanwhile though, Gamble still holding on. McKnight just having a little bit of a look. There's Dan Hall in the background as well with Visma. Hansen behind, and then we look back further to McCune, who had that spin. Greg Sharp as well in the distance, back in 13th now. So Greg Favell out in front, 5.3 seconds. 39-second pit stop for him versus a 45 for Jamie McKnight. But on the racetrack between them, it's 17.3 seconds. I think he's got the measure of everyone tonight, and the championship looks like it could be heading towards... did someone say I look like Luigi? Or Luigi? I'm not sure what that is. I said Luigi. It's the bloke from Mario Kart. That is Luigi. You guys are crazy. Righto, let's have a quick look at We'll go back to this battle. I just want to watch what Michael Dumbrell does here in retaliation. If he can get back onto the back of McKnight, he can't. He's been dropped here by 0.4 of a second. And Gamble, is McKnight going to have a lunge? He's not. He's saving fuel. You can just see the attitude on the car there from McKnight. Backs out of the throttle and decides to save a bit more fuel. Oh, that was close. There's a lock-up. They trail the brake through turn 1. We quite often see a big cloud of smoke. It's not a loaded tyre that is locking up, hence why quite often it doesn't do a lot of damage to the tyre, but still any lock-up is not good for the tyre. As Dumbrell's quite animated here. I'm just watching him on his camera there. Keith's in the house. Just watch Dumbrell. There's a lot of chit-chat going on between his teammates, and he's very animated, so I love this. We're almost 53.5 minutes into the race, and Damien is also having a lovely drive tonight, up there in 8th position. Let's jump on board with Damien for a little bit as he chases this little battle in front. I hope you enjoyed last night, Keith, with the Logitech G Invitational. It was good fun. Winton's one of the most exciting tracks, it seems, since it's joined the iRacing world. It's a tough track. I know when we did the veterans there, it's a tough track to overtake on. And it's a few people I noticed. There you go, a bit of away from Damien as he knows it's on the camera. It's, I think, becoming almost the Monaco of iRacing, Winton. It'll be interesting to see how Sandown fares for an overtaking venue, as well as McKnight does make a lunge now on Gamble down the inside. They go wheel to wheel, these two. Will Gamble fight it back? He does. He has a shot back at him. And wowee, look out, because Dumbrell can see the door open and he almost gets engaged. So good stuff. But McKnight finally through. Look at this. They're weaving and McKnight goes defensive. Then he moves back across to grab the inside line. And he's got himself up into 5th. Job done now. It should be follow the leader through the infield section of the racetrack. And oh wow, still Gamble tries to fight back. Oh, McKnight locks up. He goes really deep and wide. They go wheel to wheel through there. And he runs deep again, McKnight, on the brakes. But Gamble should be able to go down the inside. But then McKnight will fire it back down the inside through the left. And what an exchange this is between these two. This is why you tune in, right? This is some of the best of the best racing. Again tonight, Gamble, a little bit of Morse code on the back of McKnight. Gives him a bit of a tap, tap, tap. And they're going to exchange a bit more than that, I reckon, for the next half of the race. We're at the halfway point, can you believe, of this final 300-kilometre race tonight. No safety car, 55 minutes in. So double that. We're looking at an hour and 50-minute race tonight. These drivers are going to hope they had their Weet-Bix prior to this event. And a little bit of a break now, a little bit of a breather as Cairns gets close, doesn't he, to the back of Dumbrell. They're all going defensive here. They're almost stretching out 3 wide. Dumbrell's super late on the brakes. McKnight as well. He's late on the brakes. What happened there? Christian Smart's backwards. Smart's in the fence. So something's gone on there with Christian Smart, and he's ended up facing the wrong way. Interesting. Let's try and pick up a replay of that. So this is down into turn 1, all by himself as far as I can tell. And what has happened here to Christian? The back end lets go really early. Awkward crash, and then he lights it up and still clouts the fence. And that's unfortunate for the 999. That's done a fair bit of damage as well. So he drops down to 11th place for his efforts. So yeah, that's not good at all for him. So that elevates McKnight up to 4th, Gamble 5th, and Dumbrell into 6th place now. Jamie McKnight 1 place off a podium, and he's got himself a 4/10 of a second gap back to this man Gamble. So they're not done yet, are they? Gee whiz, Gamble's pushing the envelope here tonight. See him just trying to find a way through. I think just trying to force that error again. He's seen that there's a little chink in McKnight's armour tonight, although he almost went into the back of him there. Dumbrell gets super close. Cairns gets even closer. Look how close Dumbrell is now through the midsection of this tight, twisty part. As Michael Stewart, I thought, was in the lane, but he's not. These three drivers in particular continue the fight. There's a shot at Gamble from our higher camera here. Not close enough this time for a run up the straight, but I tell you who's a little bit closer, Damien Cairns, but he got a slow exit off the corner. Dropped back about a car length on top of what he already had. Gamble again getting closer. Here he is, McKnight defensive. I think McKnight's probably getting sick of having to go right across to cover the line. And now Gamble tries an overlap on the outside, then switches back. He was really good on the exit out of three right here on the previous lap, Gamble, and he's doing it once again. The tyres seem to be working better for him. He goes right out, uses all the racetrack, and look at the overlap he gets. He gets really good corner exit speed. And McKnight just does enough, hangs on the inside, covers the line. That pushes Gamble out into the weeds a little bit, out towards the marbles. That gives Dumbrell then an opportunity to look and try and get himself up another position. And Darren Goosey comes into the pits now from 20th place as well. Lock up again from McKnight. Oh, a bit slow through the mid-corner was Gamble. And it's either going to be, oh, more contact, look at that. Bit of rubbings racing, yeah. On the front nose camera now of Michael Dumbrell. Isn't he?
Thanks, Matt.
The race leader now, 8.8 seconds out in front, by the way. This man, Greg Favell, that you cannot even see a car behind him at the moment. He's got one hand on this championship trophy and ready to drink the champagne. 4 Taipan cars in the top 10. Go, boys, says Ben Anthony. Marcus Watson says, hey, hey. Hello, Marcus.
I'm coming up the inside.
So, what was that? Scotty McCune just saying this. Oh, hello. That was Christian Smart off the racetrack and then back on again. Smart's in the lane. So, he jumps into the pits for his second and final stop. Damien Cairns also in the lane for his second and final stop. Wow, so we'll just keep an eye on their times for the second pit stop. Unfortunately, Christian Smart will be upset about that incident that's pushed him right back in the order. He seemed on fire tonight. He was looking very, very fast. O'Brien's on the back of Chris Barrage now. This is for 16th place. O'Brien only one stop so far. Stephen Varga behind him. Still the top driver that's made 2 stops in 18th place. A long, long way back, but still a bit to play for with the final pit stops for all the drivers in front to come. Dumbrell hustling once again on the back of Gamble, McKnight. I think Jan Hall's had a decent drive as well. He's P6, up 9 positions, 23 seconds off the lead. Importantly though, that's almost only, well, it's 13 seconds from second place, but really from a podium position it's only 1.7 seconds, so he's in a really handy position here for Evolution Racing Team. And if he can carry on, he's got some damage on that left door, but if he can carry on this sort of form, like I said, it puts down a marker, doesn't it, for next season already. Drivers knowing about where they're at, as we see again, carbon copy of the lap before. McKnight defensive, Gamble really attacking. And I wonder if McKnight, I'm just having a look at the lap times, they're in the 34s last time around. McKnight just backing them up a little bit, I think, here while he saves some fuel. And I wonder if that's annoying Scotty a little bit. Scotty probably would want to go just a little bit faster at this stage of the race. I reckon his race plan is to just maybe be half a second quicker in race pace. But Jamie, after that huge first pit stop, just running the fuel number, and he knows what he has to do, and he'll just be hitting that target lap after lap. He won't care that it's backing up Gamble a little bit. The gap from him to Jeff Thomas, though, is opened right out, hasn't it? 12.3 seconds. Jeff Thomas in P2. Often he's running quite a lonely race here in P2. 9.9 off the lead, does a 33.9. And it's about a tenth quicker than McKnight on the previous lap. What does McKnight do this time? Remembering that McKnight has a best lap time of a 32.7, he does a 34.2. So well off the pace of what he can actually do. Hence why I suggest that he's probably in massive fuel saving mode. I wonder if Scott Gamble's not worth, it's probably ideal for him right now to jump in the pits, make that second and final stop. He'll be looking for maybe a gap in the traffic. If we have a look at the track map, you can just see back behind 12th position, there's quite a big gap forming there. And from Scotty back to 12th, it is around 23 seconds, and maybe not enough time. You may want to look back even further to around 14th place, which is 32 seconds. That's more likely to be a place to jump back out into. So McKnight P3, Gamble 4th, and we get to that stage of the race now where we're thinking, right, final pit stops. When are we going to make them? Can we get them done without any sort of mistakes? Brenda with a massive 500 stars. Thanks, Brenda. I've got to read the comment there because I can see there's a comment attached to it. It says, "Go Greg, great work, Luke, with the broadcasting." Thank you. It's a pleasure. These guys make it absolutely easy for me to find good racing. I enjoy flicking through the camera views and talking about this racing. Here we go again. So I know we keep showing this same battle, but surely sooner or later something's going to happen here between McKnight and Gamble. Gamble's constantly attacking, but also having to constantly watch his mirrors. Dumbrell's right there. He gets a great exit again. He's right behind McKnight. Is this closer? He goes right out wide. McKnight tends to start that exodus towards the left-hand side of the track, that early defensive run, almost midway through turn 3. Surely that's putting a little bit of extra pressure on the tyres of Jamie McKnight. He's not close enough again, is he? This has brought Dan Hall back into this now. So Dan Hall is attached by half a second to the back of Dumbrell for P6. And whilst McKnight is just a bit of a cork in the bottle, and I don't mean that as though he's a slow driver, because he's definitely not. He's just running a fuel number, and that lap there was a little bit quicker than the previous. Just turned it up by about half a second again on this lap. And well, you probably need a good second of race pace to get past the driver in front around this circuit. Gamble, his best lap times are 32.9, which is 2/10 off the ultimate lap time for Jamie McKnight. Will Wilson's just said to me, was there supposed to be a new series starting this week? Next week we've got the the sports sedans coming back, which is fantastic, and the Roads to Rumble on Monday night. So there's going to be Roads to Rumble with the MX-5s on Monday night, followed by the sports sedans on Wednesday night. So plenty of action next week. A couple of new championships, 5-round All-Australian track championship for the sports sedans. So how cool is that? So put those nights in your calendar. I'll just tell you now, it's going to be a... Oh, by the way, we've got split 2 tomorrow night, of course, but then on the weekend, probably Saturday or Sunday night, I'm not sure which one yet, depending on my schedule, we've got the improved production car, which was actually run last night. We're doing the replay of their race, so that's round number 3. And it was a double booking or a double clash that was made with the Pro Invitational Series. So they were kind enough to suggest that we just do it on a replay broadcast. So that'll probably be Sunday night depending on planning purposes here. And I'm up in or heading out for quite a drive on Saturday, and it should take up most of my night. So see how we go. I'll let you know though, probably tomorrow night. We'll confirm up the time for that broadcast. O'Brien can't get past Chris Barrage here. Boy, that's close though, and he may have just got through. He has. Chris fights it back slightly, but O'Brien, I think, will get the job done. He does. So good job. McKnight once again has Gamble all over him. Gamble will try go around the outside. You just can't do it there at turn 1. It's Marble City. Gamble then with the cross, switch back. Oh, they're close this time. He's leaning on him. You can hear him also hanging on the rev limiter a little bit there. I wonder if Gamble's just, yeah, look at McKnight. He's smart, isn't he? He covers all that inside line. There's just no way at all that McKnight can get through at that point. So in the background, look at Dan Hall now. He's not engaged with this battle. He's absolutely ferociously coming through on Dumbrell down the inside. So all of a sudden, Dan Hall has come alive. He's caught this pack, and now he's starting to cut his way through. We've got 2 Logitech cars running here in 4th and 5th position. Gamble and Dan Hall in behind Jamie McKnight. Now I wonder if Gamble might just let Dan Hall have a shot at McKnight for a few laps, because it's just been on and on here, this little duel between them, and McKnight just probably has the upper hand by the slightest of margin. But Dan Hall may just be a little bit of fresh energy and might be able to find a way through. And of course, if he can find a way through, maybe he can then just hold McKnight up a little bit and help his teammate also pounce. So here we go again. Take 10. Take 10. Oh, Dan Hall's gone to the pit lane, so he's actually, I reckon that's a smart thing to do. He's realised, okay, I've caught a couple of guys that are going to be hard to overtake. I'm quicker than them. Let's jump in the pit. Let's make our final stop now. And then let's try and elevate ourselves up into possibly a podium spot, remembering that he is battling for a podium there with Jamie McKnight. So all these drivers, only 1 stop so far. Visma and Hall now in for their 2nd stop. Let's see how they compare to this man, Stephen Varga, who's just coming up onto the hill towards the pit lane now. He is our top driver that has stopped twice. Back with this chestnut of a battle. Dumbrell has been patient here as well, and just, I guess, not wanting to get his nose in on this fight because it could end in tears. He's having to concentrate extra hard though. There he is on the screen, short shifting his way through this mid part of the track. And I think he's probably just waiting for an incident in front. It's been brewing and brewing. You can hear the whistle on the kettle, but we're yet to see the kettle really boil as Jeff Thomas comes into the lane from P2 for his final stop as well. Could this be the time Scotty Gamble finally gets through? I think too far back once again. Look at the power of the toe though. Surely he should be thinking about a pit stop and going for the undercut on McKnight. It's just not going to work this way. Dumbrell is right there again having a look, but it's just it's almost like Groundhog Day. Same thing happens each lap. Jeff Thomas dropping down the order there as Michael Stewart elevates up into 6th place shortly. And had a shield. Hey, he's running in 9th place just behind there, and he has stopped twice according to my timing screen. He actually stopped on lap 36, which was the critical lap to be able to bring it home. So the fully floored racing driver who was right up there at the start of the race, don't discount him now, also finishing on the podium. Could be there. Richie's in the pits. Now, of our 2 stoppers, we've got Jeff Thomas, who's come out in 10th place. He's made his 2nd stop now. He can go to the end. And you've got Stephen Varga back in 13th. He's made 2 stops. He can go to the end as well. But ahead of both those drivers, Simon Hedershield, 8th place outright, 2 stops in the bank, and currently running 40 seconds off the lead as our race leader does pit. Greg Favell in the pits now from the lead. Getting to an hour and 15 minutes into the race now, almost an hour and 15. We start to see a few little crashes here and there. That was Matt Vanderkrant, I think, in the background. Just picked him up having a spin, I think, coming out of the pits. He has, so he's left the pits there and then crashed on the exit. You can see damage on the car. Meanwhile, challenge again. This is for the lead of the race now. So McKnight leads the race. Gamble P2. And surely, I'm not sure if there's any spotters in there for Gamble, but surely someone's saying, right, you've got to go for an undercut now. It's probably been 5, 6, 7 laps too many of just following this closely to the car in front but not being able to get through. McKnight wagging the tail now of the Synergy Sim Racing Holden Commodore, and Gamble looks again to the inside, can't get through. You can see how comparable the lap times are between them, but ultimately they're slow compared to the other drivers. Now Gamble sideways, the tyres have gone off on these cars. Surely if Gamble's to come in now, put a fresh set of tyres on, fuel it to the end, he can easily get the undercut on McKnight. But it comes down to that risk versus reward. You will lose a bit of track position. The risk is coming out behind another competitor who's going to hold you up on that outlap as well. But surely you've got to take a gamble right now, and that's his name, Scotty Gamble, and he's in. So there you go. Game on for the undercut. And oh, there's Dumbrell's gone with him. Did he slow that down in time? That will be a line ball, I reckon, getting it down to the pit limit here. Dumbrell's gone in as well for fuel. Now their first stops were, I think, a 44-second stop for Dumbrell and a 40-second stop for Scott Gamble. So as we see Greg Favell go back up into P2. So let's see if we get a jump here. I think Gamble should be able to jump out ahead of Dumbrell. Although Dumbrell 4 seconds to his advantage in that first stop, he may actually jump out. So about 2 stoppers. Jeff Thomas is now up there. Haddishield's up into 4th. Dumbrell gets out and he's way ahead of Gamble. So Gamble's had quite a slow stop there. So it was 32 versus 26, 6 seconds difference in the stop. And there you go. That's the give and take of the shorter stop at the start for Gamble versus the longer stop in the second pit stop phase. So he may lose out to McKnight. Remember, McKnight will probably take quite a short stop on this final stint now because he took 45 whopping seconds worth of fuel in the first pit stop, a full 110 litres in the car. Let's see where he ends up though. I presume he'll be in this lap. So McKnight in the pits now for his final stop. Favell will retake the lead of the race. There he is. Fantastic drive again tonight. We're going to see some celebrations at the end of this one if he does get the win. Nitschke is on the chat and he says absolutely gutted. Really wanted to finish second in the championship in the Awesome League. Power went out by the time it came back on. I couldn't meet 75% race distance, so it's a power outage that has cost Brenton Nitschke a chance at, well, challenging for the win, but also challenging for the lead of this incredible season, but not to be. And I think we'll still get second in the championship. So it's been a fantastic season for Brenton, and we're looking forward to next one when he'll come back, I'm sure, stronger and maybe get a, I don't know, even with a, what are they called, the power supplies that have a battery in them, which is, I've got one here, a UPS, is it? A UPS? I've got one here, but it doesn't stop your modem going out. If you lose your modem, of course, you're disconnected. So, oh, contact. Visma and Smart have got together here in an awkward little dance. And
Sorry, Anthony.
sorry from Christian. I think Visma replies with okay, but interesting. Well, let's go through the top drivers. We've got 3.3 seconds between Favell and Stewart. Stewart hasn't stopped twice. Haddishield is now in P3, ultimately running second in this race. He has stopped twice. He can bring it home from there. Jeff Thomas on for a podium again tonight. JWM Motorsports. 5th place will now move up into the top 3. So with Stewart and Nickel coming into the pits on lap 50, we're going to see a clear indication of where we're at for the race order. So it will be Favell, Heddershield, Thomas. Then you've got Dumbrell, who will move up into 4th. Sharp, Gamble, McCune, Cairns, and McKnight. So McKnight has dropped all the way down to 11th in all that. Now, I'm just trying to work that out, because he had a 25-second pit stop, Jamie McKnight. Gamble had a 32-second pit stop. Remember, those two were fighting absolutely nail and tooth, and now you've got a distance of 3.8 seconds between them. So that is the power of the undercut, as far as I can tell. There's no other reason. Gamble came in first.
Mate, I gave you a room.
Did a couple of great outlap, and he's got the job done. Now, Visma, who's he talking to there? I'm just trying to see his... Sorry, it wasn't Visma, was it? It was Smart, Hansen, and Visma are close together. Is Christian Smart part of that? Well, I don't think so. Who's left to pit, says Ben Anthony? Well, we've just got now absolutely no one. There's your answer. As I look down the order, everyone has had 2 pit stops. We are run and done. There's your pit strategy up on the screen. Stewart and Nickel both came in on the previous lap, so their little yellow bar will appear shortly as well. 31 laps they did from their middle stint. And we are good now to the end for fuel, let's hope anyway, with all the drivers circulating on lap 51. An hour and 20 minutes into this final race of the season, and Greg Favell bringing it home at this stage. Battle here between McKnight and Damien Cairns. Where is he? He's there somewhere. Jamie McKnight, he's alongside, and I think through. He is. P8. McKnight goes through now. Oh, legend race control Dave Coleman says McKnight had a little spin coming out of the pit lane and lost a bit of time. So there you go. Brenton said who's left to pit. Sorry, I did read that incorrectly. Ben Anthony says that's Brenton. I am Ben. Ben with 2 N's. We love Ben with 2 N's. Big thanks to Ben for all his work throughout season 11 as it draws to a finish once again, and all the race control who I said earlier. What's going on? A split 2 already finished, Ben. What are you doing? I'm sure he's just loving this championship rolling down to the wire. But Smart, Hansen, Visma still engaged in this battle. Meanwhile, it's all been defused at the top. We had such a great fight earlier on. McKnight and Gamble put on some of the best racing we've seen all season. And he's a multitasker, Ben Anthony. And it's all been diffused as we see McKnight and Gamble separated by 4 seconds now. There's Scotty. And Michael Dumbrell up in P4. Remember, he was actually behind the McKnight-Gamble battle. Now he's sitting up there in 4th place. So he jumped them both with a nice short 26-second stop for Hypersonic Racing. So he'll be hoping now that maybe someone ahead of him, either Greg Favell, Simon Heddershield, or Jeff Thomas, makes an error. Otherwise, it's a 22-second deficit where he is now. Greg Sharp's next in the order, P5, up 9 positions tonight. Followed by Gamble, McCune, McKnight, Cairns, and Christian Smart, your top 10. We'll check in quickly with Michael Stewart as we hit these later stages of the race now, 52 laps into this 70-lap finale. And Michael Stewart currently running in 14th place for Hypersonic Racing. He's lonely back there. 4.3 seconds is the gap to the next car in front. And Tim Nickel, you can just see in the background.
No, I'm just trying to follow you. I'm just trying to go. Keep going. Oh, fuck it. I'll go.
Oh, what's going on here with Favell? So someone's going through. Is Favell going slow there? Is he all good? So Stephen Vargas come through to overtake the race leader. So is that him getting his lap back? I do apologise for a bit of the language there. We're just trying to see, why is there such a pace difference between Favell here And Stephen Varga, who's all the way back in 23rd place, just did a 33.2 on that previous lap, a 33.4, so he was 2/10 quicker than the race leader to unlap himself. And Greg Favell may just sit behind and enjoy a little bit of a tow whilst leading the race by 8.7 seconds, but Brenton says top drive by Hederschild to be in P2. Yes, it's been a great drive. 3 laps and newer tyres for Varga as well. Thanks, Dave. Will Wilson says sounded like Trent from Punch Bowl on the voice chat. I like that. I like that. Big thanks to everyone that's been tuning in as well throughout the season. I absolutely love the input from you guys, and Will, I know you've been here every race, and others.
Sorry, Anthony.
The comments don't go unnoticed. It gives me a bit of a chuckle now and then. As we look at Damien Cairns once again, just knocking away back there in 9th place. 1.2 seconds behind Jamie McKnight. And ahead of Christian Smart by about 6.2 seconds at this stage of the race. Top 20 drivers in the championship will go straight through. So Pavel, Nitschke, Duggan, Hall, Sharp, Varga, Thomas, Smart, Byrne, McCune, Cairns, Young, Friend, Nickel, Hall, O'Brien should all go through, and others into split 1 for next season. And they're going to be joined then by some drivers who want to come and knock these guys off their perch. Now Simon Hederschild in the pits for the 3rd time. That is not good. And he hasn't had a crash or anything. I wonder why that is. So 23 seconds worth of fuel for his 3rd stop tonight. And that's got me a little bit puzzled. So we'll have a look at the stoppage time. Just see if we can't get to the bottom of that. So there's your pit strategy board. Just have a look at Hederschild down there in 11th place. All we're going to do is quickly change that over the pit stop time. And that's probably a better one. So he took 26 seconds in his first stop, 26 in the second, and he's just done a 23-second splash and dash in the 3rd stop. So to be honest, that's got me absolutely confused why he would need that 3rd stop tonight, unless something else has gone wrong with the car and he had a meatball flag. But we didn't see him have any sort of incident, no crash indicators. So background there, Visma and Richie fight for that 12th position. But yeah, that's heartbreak, because he was on for a podium tonight, P2, well and truly in the bag. And what that has done, that's put Dumbrell now up into a podium spot, P3, and with quite a good buffer, 5 seconds back to Greg Sharp. So for Vell, Thomas and Dumbrell, 3 drivers that have been mega consistent, you got to say, throughout season 11. They have always been up there fighting, and that'll be a pretty decent podium to bring it home on the final night too, as we watch a couple of teammates get together now, Brenton O'Brien and Dan Hall, who are focused on a couple of Evolution Racing Team drivers about to get into a little bit of a inter-team battle by the looks of things. Let's jump on board here with Dan Hall up the hill and enjoy the sound. So just watching Tim Nicol whilst we were enjoying the sounds of the Logitech cars fighting. Tim Nicol's just fighting here with Michael Stewart. 14th place Stewart, just trying to hang on at the moment. He's dropped 9 positions in the race, so it hasn't been an ideal night out in the park for Michael, but he'll get the elbows out nice and sharp and pointy right now and try and fend off this man Tim Nicol, who looks to be coming on strong at the end of this race. Gee, he's got some pace down the inside. I don't think Stewart's going to have an answer for that, and he doesn't. So Nicol goes up now into 14th and puts Stewart back into 15th place up the road just from them. Richie's still fighting with Anthony Visma. And then the other battle I want to keep an eye on is this one, Greg Sharp and Scott Gamble, who's finishing strong here again, starting to challenge for 4th place. Now, Greg Sharp's made 10 spots up tonight. Gamble up 5. Sorry, Gamble up only 1 into the top 5. So Greg Sharp, one of our top movers and shakers tonight, on for a great performance and a good, what will be a slight win for him, the top 4 finish in the final race of this season. Jacob Neasley says hopefully McKnight can get a top 5. He's sitting in 7th place at the moment, and he's got some mega competitors in front of him, that's for sure. It's not going to be easy. If he can catch the back of McCune, and the gap at the moment is 4.1 seconds, it's not really decreasing at all. If he can catch the back, well, maybe he can get through. You can see that battle pack up the road. That's what we're talking about. So the Sharp battle, there it is, and then back to McKnight. That 4-second margin is increasing, in fact.
Oh, mate.
More driver chatter there. Love how some drivers have very loud microphones compared to others. But Gamble is now really starting to attack. So he's caught the back of Sharp, and McCune is there with him, ready to go along for the ride. So Sharp needs to be careful here that he doesn't lose a couple of positions. If he loses 1, well, so be it, but the last thing he can afford to do is lose 2. And this little battle, if they start to really engage in a fight, this will help McKnight close that 4-second margin down, because at the moment it's still sitting out at 4.3. In fact, it's increased by a 10th on this lap alone, so that's not ideal. So the word from Brenton is Greg Sharp will finish 2nd in the championship if he stays in this position. So there you go. I'm sure Brenton then is hoping that Gamble can get a wriggle on. So I presume that will put you back in 3rd then, Brenton. Coming down to the wire. Hopefully at the end of the race tonight we'll be able to get some live updates on the points to round out the championship. But Gamble fighting here, so we sort of want to know the position then. Where does Sharp need to finish? Oh, so being that close, Brenton reckons he'll drop to about 8th or 9th in the championship. That's incredible. I would have thought he had more of a buffer than that. But anyway, it's heartbreaking then that the power outages cost Brenton a real good chance in this one. But as we said earlier, season 12, it's a fresh start, some new tracks as well. It's going to be incredible. Just on 12.5 laps to go in the race. This man, well, he's crossing the line now to start that 12 to go count. Greg Favell, an hour and a half or an hour and 32 minutes into racing. Still fully focused here and starting to carve his way through some traffic. So he's just passed Steven Varga back. Now he's got Vanderkran and Goosey up the road as well. So a couple of drivers that will catch shortly. They'll get the blue flags. They need to get out of the way. Decent little battle going on here, by the way, between Darren Goosey and Matt Vanderkran. This is for 21st and 22nd place. The Old Mate and Sons versus the Angry Birds Racing. Sounds like a sitcom. And on board with Darren Goosey looking back, you can just see he's just been pulling away slightly from Vanderkran, only by a couple of tenths here and there. Oh, Matt's made a mistake there and dropped 3 or 4 car lengths. That's where you've really got to just keep your wits about you when you're following a car that closely. Those little mistakes get amplified, don't they? as we watch Nickel and Visma now. Nickel, who's looking very, very quick, runs super wide, nearly off the racetrack. And will he dive down the inside here? I think he will on Anthony. He releases the brake a little bit, gets alongside. There's already enough damage on the side of that car to not worry about another little rub, but he doesn't need to because it's a nice clean overtake. They go wheel to wheel down the hill. And oh wow, close. He sweeps across in front of him. And Anthony holds on now for 13th position. Good job. Scotty McCune now, the run up the hill on the back of Greg Sharp. Scott Gamble in front on the door of a podium tonight. It's Favell, Thomas and Dumbrell looking pretty secure though. 1, 2, 3. Favell cutting his way through more lap traffic, just thanking the drivers I think as he goes through. Gamble up into 4th. That puts Sharp back into 5th now. So the championship points, just as a reminder, coming into this final round tonight, it was Favell leading by a good margin, Nitschke in 2nd, then Duggan. Stuart Hall was in 4th, Sharp was in 5th in the championship, and Vargas 6th, Jeff Thomas 7th. So that'll elevate Jeff Thomas up a little bit as well, won't it? So I'm just trying to see some other drivers. So Christian Smart was in 8th, then Byrne, McCune, Cairns and Young. So this late charge and the unfortunate nature of Nitschke's dropout means that we're going to see a few drivers elevated into the top 3. And Heddershield, I'm still scratching my head over that 3-stop strategy tonight. There he is as he gets past Marty Hansen, and Hansen immediately retaliates down the inside. But Heddershield would probably have been on the podium tonight had it not been for the fact that he's come in for an extra stop over everyone else. As you can see from that strategy board, Heddershield down there in 10th place, the only driver to go for a 3-stop strategy. It's not generally going to work around a circuit like this when all the cars are on similar setups. Back to the battle for 4th. It's Gamble still holding on. So it's all holding stations, isn't it? Let's go back to Nickel and Stewart chasing down Anthony Visma. A couple of drivers that have dropped further back now. O'Brien and Dan Hall still racing closely together, but all the way back now in 18th and 19th place, and O'Brien is ahead of Dan Hall, wagging the tail on that V8 Supercar. Then you got Kennedy, Goosey, Varga down in 22nd, having a night he'd probably rather forget. But good to see him still circulating, knocking the laps out of the park and bringing it home for the championship. Colleen says yes, Damien's strong finish. He has done well tonight. He's inside the top 10, up 13 positions. So let's go through the movers and shakers. Damien Cairns is the top one. There he is, making up 13 positions since the start of the race to put himself into the top 8. Next best, Christian Smart, who's actually next in line. He's made up 10 positions tonight for 9th place. And then Marty Hansen, another of the Taipan cars, has made up 12 positions tonight as well, into 11th place. So those 3 drivers in particular have had incredible runs tonight. Some drivers that notably have made some errors. Nitschke, of course, with that, not his fault, but a disconnection, drops him 20 positions. Darren Crosby, he's out of the race on lap 24. He's dropped 15 positions tonight. And Paul Young also dropping 10 positions. Then up higher, Michael Stewart's dropped 10. He's still in 15th place, but dropped 10 positions outright in the race. So not ideal. this big fight we're watching right now, you can actually hear Dan Hall's motor in the background then from the onboard from Brenton O'Brien. I think he's followed him through, he has. So O'Brien got through on Chris Barrage, so did Dan Hall. And Stephen Kennedy is also just on the back of this little battle. And this is 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th position in the race. So is the strength of this competition tonight. So I love, we've got battles everywhere, but they don't give up. This is way down the order and they're still driving like they're going for a championship victory tonight, which is what we love about this V8 Vets. All of the drivers over the age of 40. You've got to be 40 plus to be a part of this one. So if they finish, a comment just from Ben Anthony has come through, if they finish exactly how they are now, it will be the championship for Favel, but Sharp and then Thomas will get second and third in the championship. So there you go. It's going to be good. If Jeff Thomas can get himself a P3 in the championship, he'd be absolutely stoked with that, I'm sure. First came across Jeff in the Sports Sedan Series, which comes back next Wednesday night for their brand new season 12. And it's great to see Jeff battling in this series and right up there consistently, so fast. Excellent work. Speak of the man, JWM eMotorsports, one of the best looking cars out on the grid too. You can see his profile picture there, the motorbike racing in the real world. Brings across a lot of those skills to hold himself into this V8 Supercar and drive the Ford Mustang and actually do the Ford Mustang proud, because I can tell you right now, out of 13, the top 13 in this race, there is one Ford Mustang, and that is this man on your screen. So it's absolutely domination at the moment from Holden Commodores, as you can see from the profile picture there's on the left timing screen. Look at that, we've got 4 Fords in the top 20. Now what's happened there to Brenton O'Brien? Don't tell me he's had another one.
Yeah, he will be silly baby.
Here we go, let's have a look. So Barrage down the inside with a big bomb, and he's got the back quarter panel of Brenton O'Brien and it's turned him around. So unfortunately that's probably going to be an early shout for both those boys. O'Brien gets back on the throttle, I think. What's happened to Chris Barrage there? Oh, he's just left a bit of space, but I would say he'll definitely wear a drive-through penalty for that one, or at least a little bit of bother from the race stewards when they see that. So O'Brien, unfortunately, has had a night where he's found himself in a lot of people's mistakes, and that's another costly one. Dave Collins saying, I believe Hall got a speeding in the pit lane penalty. He lost 40 seconds to the rest in his last stop. He was battling with McKnight and Dumbrell before the last stop. That's true, so there you go. So that's why Dan Hall did go all the way back. His transit time was 1 minute and 35 seconds with 1 minute and 15 of that stationary. So that's why, there you go. V8 Veterans Admin, thanks everyone for your support through season 11. We hope you continue in season 12. Thank you, Luke, for your professionalism in sharing our league to the world. There you go, thanks. It's a nice touch coming through there from the V8 Vets Admin. It's been an absolute pleasure. As we count down the laps now to the end, Jeff Thomas holding on for P2. Dumbrell for third. This is the closest battle we've got in the top 10. Scott Gamble. What a great drive, what a great story. He had years and years off sim racing, gave it away for a while. He's come back now, just started rebuilding the rig, got a steering wheel again, and started in split 3. Then quickly elevated up to split 2. We saw him win a race, didn't we? And then the final elevation to bring himself up into the top split, and now running only 1 step off a podium. It's incredible. So at the end of the race tonight, we're going to chat to the top 3 drivers for the race, but then also the top 3 in the championship, and award that excellent achievement to those drivers. As we watch Greg Sharp still cannot find a way through. I think Sharp will be another driver that next season challenges for victories. I don't think we've seen the best of these guys yet. Jacob Neasley says the drone cam was epic last night. See if we can't find a drone cam for you again tonight. I didn't really set one up for this track. There you go. How about this one? Down at the final run up the straightaway, we could probably pick up Brenton O'Brien as he disappears around the corner. Give you a little look at drone cam. There you go. It is a feature I'll bring back eventually. I used it maybe, I don't know, what, 500 broadcasts ago. I shelved it for some reason, and I brought it back for the Pro Invitational last night, so definitely we'll get that happening again for you in the future. We'll set up some custom angles for it as we watch Tim Nicol P13 and Michael Stewart still fighting over the minor places. Only 3 laps to go in the race. We are an hour and 45 minutes in. Like I said earlier, I said this about an hour ago, I don't know how they can do it. I don't know how they can race for this length non-stop. It's quite physical, and they generally don't make a lot of mistakes. I reckon by this time into the race I'd be all over the shop, missing my braking markers. I'd be accelerating too early and spinning up the rear tyres, but they generally race right through to the end, and incredible. Drone footage makes me nervous on this channel. That's true. Don't remind me about drone footage. In fact, Brazil obviously being the circuit that got me in all that trouble with that Brazilian drone footage, which still haven't heard from YouTube. I don't know what's going on there. If anyone's seen RACESTARS TV's channel, let me know, because no one else is replying to me. Hopefully it comes back one day. But big thanks to TaipanEvents hosting all our YouTube broadcasts, and absolute legends for that. Gamble 4th place here to the end. It's incredible. A couple of other drivers to quickly mention. Was that a clutch in fuel saving moment there for Scott McCune? It sounded like someone dipped the clutch to save some fuel. He dropped back a little bit, didn't he? Dropped back a couple of car lengths off the back of Greg Sharp. This is generally where we find out if a couple of drivers are in fuel trouble this late in the race, with maybe, what, 3 laps to go. 2.5 if you're the race leader for Vel. They were lengthy pit stops tonight. I would think they've put enough fuel in. Generally they don't make that mistake, although we saw a couple this season, didn't we? But I think Greg Favell would definitely have put all the fuel in. What's going on there? Stewart and Nicol vocal on the Stewart goes down the inside the end. I think he was being told to pass on the right, but almost tangling together. He gets through though. Nicol gets a pretty good exit off 3. He'll run down the hill towards 4, but I don't think he's going to surely challenge that position back again. Yeah, the Brazilian drone footage was definitely not more exotic than it sounds. Oh, he runs wide, Stewart, as well, and off the track. Hansen ahead, he's going wheel to wheel with Hedershield. We'll try and get to the bottom of this 3-stop strategy for Simon and wonder why he went that route tonight. Possibly threw away a podium as he battles here for 10th place. Way back in 10th now, as the penultimate lap has started. In fact, we're nearly a quarter of the way through it. This man, Greg Favell, leading the championship into the final round, leading the final race to take the championship victory in a lap and a bit's time. And incredible drive again tonight. He showed last night in the Pro Invitational that he's just able to match it with some of the best V8 Supercar drivers on iRacing in the country. And again tonight, he's just shown exceptional speed. Best lap time of a 1 minute 32.4. I think well clear of anyone else, as we have a confirmation of that. Yeah, look at that, 132.440. And Thomas a 32.7. A 32.5 for Dumbrell. Not too bad, only a 10th off the fastest lap of the race. Michael Dumbrell tonight, and he should secure that podium. But the white flag about to drop. The final lap of season 11, round number 12. V8 Vets about to get underway. And to bring it home, you can definitely taste the champagne now. There he is, the number 76. Changed teams mid-season. 76 Racing went over to join TaipanEvents. They opened the checkbook. They pay the big money to get this big star across. And with the Taipan Blacktown Mazda paint on the car, he is going to bring it home and take a win. Is Hansen off the track? I think he is. Oh, where is he? He has gone off the circuit and he rejoins. And I think he did it all by himself. So white flag out, 1 to go. We're halfway through that final lap. Scott Gamble still hanging on to P4 by the skin of his teeth here. Greg Sharp trying everything to make it through. They're on their final lap as well. Nothing in it. McCune runs very wide on the corner exit. McKnight's next behind him. That gap's still 4.7. So since the pit stop, that has not decreased at all. Bit of lap traffic at the end of this lap for Greg Favell as well. So he's just going to back off here. There's no point engaging really. Just enjoy this run up the pit straight to round out the championship, to take a win. He celebrates with a bit of a slide out of what is the final main corner, but up the hill he goes. Flash those headlights. Enjoy this one, Greg. It's been a mega season. Hold your head high. Put 2 fists in the air. You've won yourself a V8 Vets Championship. Incredible effort. Greg Favell, the winner. The 76 car takes the win in style tonight. Jeff Thomas will cross the line, P2 in the final race. We'll get some championship points and work out where he finishes as well. But that has been a great performance, a great championship, and well, I don't think we've seen the best of him yet either. He's just so strong, and he comes home with 2nd place for the JWM eMotorsports. Got to be happy with that. That's a fantastic performance. And Dumbrell, P3 in the race tonight. Michael Dumbrell, be pretty happy with that one, I would say. He's got himself another podium. Yeah, look at that, he's pumped. Here's the old fist pump. And time to sink into that beer that's sitting there with only a couple of sips taken out of it on the right there. Time to get into that, I reckon. But Gamble got 4th in the end. Sharp 5th, McCune, McKnight, then it was Cairns, Smart and Headshield rounding out your top 10. But, well, take a moment, have a think about this guy. He is the championship winner. So he stands by, I think, just waiting for an opportunity to smoke some tyres. He's just sitting there at the start-finish line, unless he's out of fuel. But he is our Season 11 champion. Greg Favell for Taipan Esports. We'll get him in shortly for a chat as we wrap it all up here. And there he goes. Now he's going to have some fun. I think we're going to see a pretty exciting burnout here to finish it off. Greg Favell, your Season 11 champion. Put your hands together. Soak it up. He enjoys this one. The crowd goes wild. So he's going to smoke the tyres off this completely tonight. Greg Favell for Taipan eSports, our season 11 champion. We'll grab him in shortly for a chat. We're going to get the points updated, just waiting on that now. And standing by in the broadcast room, we've got Jeff Thomas and Michael Dumbrell as well. They'll be in with us shortly. We'll just wait for our champion though to come in first of all and give him first opportunity to speak. But we could be waiting a long time unless he blows this motor up. And he finally, I think, parks it up and goes back to the future. And look at that as he crosses the line. What a win. Righto, we should have him shortly. We'll put up the race results on the screen for you right now. And this is how it ended up in the championship. Oh, sorry, first of all, in the race results. Your race winner, Greg Favell. And he did it by 16.2 seconds in the end over Jeff Thomas and Michael Dumbrell. And the top 10 there, Gamble, Sharp, McCune down in 6th place ahead of McKnight. Can Smart and had a shield with 3-stop strategy, putting him in 10th place tonight. Richie Hansen, Stewart, Nickel, Visma, Hall down there in 16th after a penalty. Banks and Kennedy to round out the top 18, 19th place. Tonight went to Brenton O'Brien ahead of Chris Barrage. Then it was Vargs not having the best night in 21st. Goosey, Van der Crown, Shannon, Crosby, Young, Nitschke with a power blackout. Finished in 27th tonight, sadly for him. Righto, let's go and have a chat to him. He's right there now. Greg Favell, congratulations, mate. You are not just the winner of the race tonight, but you are the Season 11 Championship. Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, Luke. Pretty exciting to get my name up alongside the People's Champion. So, yeah, it's been an excellent season.
Mate,
A little bad luck, but yeah, we got there.
Yeah, and it looks so good tonight. We're knocking off consistent lap, mate. So fastest lap of the race as well. The car just felt good, yeah?
Yeah, I tell you what, I was going to ask if we could just all stop with about 20 to go because I really needed to go to the toilet and I was in that much pain that I considered just pulling into the pits and going.
Well, it's almost 2 hours of racing. I said a few times tonight, I don't know how you guys do it. It amazes me, but yeah, it's a long race, especially around a track where there's not a lot of straights to just take a break, is there?
Nah, definitely not. We're going to have to speak to Ben about that. Like, our bladders aren't as good these days, over the age of 40, so shorter races much better. But, you know, I haven't really had much luck at this track, but yeah, it seemed to click tonight. And I was just trying to save tyres and just do not fastest lap, but consistent laps. So, yeah, all came good in the end.
Fantastic. We'll talk more about the championship win in a sec, but we'll go to Jeff now, who I think we're going to find out. Jeff, I think you may have elevated yourself up in the championship a little bit as well, but second in the race tonight. Man, you've had such a good season. Congratulations.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah, it was a bit up and down early on, and I had to miss a few due to other commitments, but happy to finish on a high. Really tried to put in this week to have consistent sort of race pace, and I was looking for clean air, which I got, which probably helped give me the result.
Well, great job. And Michael, mate, we saw you pumping the fist at the end there. You were really happy with that P3. And yeah, you had fight tonight. There was a lot of battles, and you also witnessed some good battles too. That one between McKnight and I think it was Gamble was pretty exciting to watch. But yeah, well done, P3.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, I was definitely, as soon as I crossed that line, I was so happy, especially after, like you say, after that battle with Gamble at McKnight. I actually just sort of let him go through and just latched onto the back of them. And let them go at it. It was actually good to watch, to be honest. I was kind of hoping they'd come together and let me just go through, but didn't happen. But yeah, I peeled off into the pits, and I knew that I had less fuel in the pit stop than those guys, so yeah, I was pretty happy just to sit there and watch. But yeah, congratulations to Greg and Jeff. I couldn't get anywhere near those guys in the end.
Yeah, it's been a great season to watch. Plenty of interesting tracks as well. We're going to Sandown next season. The Nordschleife. Greg, what's your chances of doing well at the Nordschleife?
I have to look at the calendar. I'm going to miss 2 races because I'm going to be up north doing some fishing for 10 days. So, yeah, I haven't had a look at the calendar yet, and I haven't done many laps around the Nordschleife on iRacing. So, it'll be a lot of practice if I'm here for it.
You need a good memory on that racetrack, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. What is it, 100 and something corners? So, yeah, a lot of time practice.
That's it. Way too many. I know I've tried it a few times, but I always get confused and think I'm at one point, and then all of a sudden I realise I'm not, and I die a quick death. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch. Sandown, are you guys looking forward to that one? Jeff, you looking forward to Sandown being part of iRacing?
Yeah, I think it'll be it'll put on better racing, I think, than what Winton does. But I just think it's great to have these Australian tracks on the calendar.
It is, yeah. I'm just going to bring up some championship points shortly. I can see Ben Anthony typing away as he updates those now, but in fact, I might just wait a little bit longer. I don't think he's 100% finished yet, but it's been a tight championship. Greg, obviously you've won it, mate, by I think around 200 points in the end. So that's pretty convincing. And mate, you've shown your skill last night. Watching you in the Invitational Pro as well, it was. I mean, they're the best drivers in the country, and you can hold your head high, man. You did really well.
Yeah, last night one little silly mistake and it just snowballed from there, so I can get rid of that and qualify well. It's been a real challenge trying to set up a car on my own, like you're on your own, whereas you haven't got people to compare tyres with and everything, so it's good, it's a challenge. But can I just say, unlucky to Brenton Nitschke. He's done really well this season, been consistent. That was bad luck tonight, and I know how he feels after the same thing happened. He was about to grid at Winton, so yeah, unlucky, and well done on the season he did this season.
Yeah, that power outage has cost him a chance of, I think he says he's probably lost second in the championship. I'm just waiting. Yeah, it's been updated now, so it looks like Greg Sharp is elevated up into P2 and Christian Smart up into third in the championship. So that's how it's looking at this stage. Jeff, for you, that's sad news, mate. I think you've lost third by 1 point.
Mate, I did not even think I'd be in the hunt for any of the top three, being back in 7th when we started this tonight. So, no, I'm pretty happy.
Well, let's do some thank yous. We'll start with you tonight, Greg. You can rattle off some thank yous, mate, for all the people that tune in and watch. I know you got the family here again tonight. They've been so supportive, mate, throughout the season. That's great to watch, and I'm sure you'd like to thank them yourself.
Yeah, my redneck brother up there in Tambo, central Queensland, or further than central, but yeah, thanks to the whole family and everyone for watching. I think I've even got my physio. He's been tuning in for the last few races and enjoys it. So I'd also like to thank Abby Timber and Modern Deck for all the support they gave me throughout the last few seasons before moving on to Taipan eSports. I'd like to thank Blacktown Mazda, Blacktown City GWM Haval, Too Easy Finance, Simrigs, SimSpec Engineering, CardFX, Sideways Photography, Ben Anthony and all the guys behind the scenes doing race control and safety cars and everything. Thanks for everything you do. Yourself, Luke, and yeah, congratulations to the podium, and yeah, congratulations.
Excellent job. And Jeff, who would you like to thank, mate, for P2?
So always the JWM boys, particularly John King and me have been working pretty hard the last few weeks together in practice. It's been awesome. Lofty as well, he's been helping out doing the safety car in Split 3. Thanks to all the admin staff. We all can't be here racing and having fun if they weren't there for us. The series sponsors, Quantum Tint Solutions, Bay 21 Coffee Beans, and yourself, Luke, with the stream. Awesome coverage. Thanks very much.
Thank you, mate. And then finally tonight, Michael Dumbrell, P3, and well done. Who would you like to thank?
Obviously, we're a self-sponsored team, so I'd just like to thank all the other HSR boys. We've been working really hard over the last few weeks, racing each other and trying to improve our race craft. And I think it's becoming evident we're all getting better and not causing or being involved in silly incidents. But also, obviously, they've been the blade for Bayland Foundation. Obviously, the Stewart family. Always got our support for them. I think my profile picture was for them. But obviously, yourself, Luke. I love watching the broadcast. Doesn't matter whether it's Vets or one of the other ones you do. Always have a good listen to you and watch. And obviously Ben and the team. It's an amazing series. I think this is my second season. I'm absolutely loving it. So bring on next season, and hopefully I don't have to work so much.
Yeah. That's it, man. And thank you too for Jeff and Michael for access to your webcams. It's been great. It's been a great added bonus as well to be able to see you guys racing. I know the people that tune in and watch it love it as well. So thank you. We'll have to get Greg hooked up with one as well.
Yeah, let me get my triple screen set up and get used to them first. Taking the time.
That's it. Well done. And final word, Greg, as our championship, our winner. Mate, you're going to be all over the posters. You'll be all over the intro video for next season. Your final words, mate, as we head into season 12. What are you thinking?
There's some quality drivers coming through. unfortunately, I have to miss the 2 races, so I can't afford to make any mistakes because there's your 2 drop rounds. So
That's it.
it's going to be an exciting season. It's going to be a lot more exciting, I think, than this season. We're going to be a lot more battles up front. And, yeah, really looking forward to it in the challenge.
Fantastic. All right, well, that's it for tonight. I'm going to put the points, the final points, up on the screen shortly. I think Ben has finished doing them. If not, well, bad luck. I'm going to put them up anyway as we've got to round it out. But thanks, boys. It's been a lot of fun. Enjoy your week off. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for round 1 of season number 12. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Luke.
Right. Thanks, Luke.
Cheers, boys. Righto, that's it. That's your top 3 for tonight. These are the final championship points at the end of the season. Greg Favell crowned the champion tonight. You can see that up on the screen. And what a fantastic job it has been to take a 1775 point win over Greg Sharp, P2 in the championship for Coda Sim Sports, 1669, and he beat Christian Smart there, P3. And look at that, Jeff Thomas, only 1 point in it for 4th place. Very close in there. Varga as well, McCune, Cairns, Nitschke ended up 8th, sadly, after that power blackout. Nickel 9th, and Stuart Hall rounding out your top 10. Dan Hall and Brenton O'Brien there, 11th and 12th in the championship. And we head down further in the championship standings. You can see where your favourite drivers ended up. The reigning champion, 20th place after missing a heap of races at the start whilst he was overseas, unfortunately for him. And Scotty Gamble down there, I want to say 38th place, 606 points. He didn't race too many races in top split, so he will be definitely one to watch out for next season. It's been a pleasure bringing you all the rounds, 12 rounds here of the V8 Vets. We've got tomorrow night's finale for Split 2, so make sure you come across and enjoy that with me from about 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Thanks for everyone that's been the star power behind RACESTARS TV as well over on Facebook. Jason Spriggs tonight, Brenda, Keith, Christine, Deborah and Eddie, absolute legends. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and we will quickly, just before we finish up, because I saw Christian was sitting there. Sorry, boys. Christian, mate, you've got yourself some points in the championship there and ended up in P3. I can't give you 10 minutes of thank yous, but, mate, quick word, and then who would you like to thank?
Oh, thank you very much. Woohoo. Appreciate that. I didn't expect it. I thought I was absolutely nowhere this season. There's been some outstanding talent in the V8 veterans. It's just getting better and better each season there, Luke. Firstly, I'd like to thank Jamie for the great setup, the mentoring, along with Vargs. He's a great mentor. We talk strategies in the prior to the race and all our pit stops and that. And all the boys at SSR, yourself, Luke, for putting on a great broadcast. I'll try not to go too long here, but it's a great bunch of guys. Or there's a great bunch of guys in here in the team as well as the V8 veterans. But if I can thank DR Epoxy, GD Custom, Australian Laminating, DM Cinematography, Too Easy Finance, West End Mazda, Quantum Tin, in the blade for Alan, and you got all the admin there, RACESTARS TV, Tim Nickel Photography, Ben Anthony, just outstanding job that he does. It's awesome. All the guys that just put in their time in admin as well there. You got Laurie at Torrens Safety, can't forget him. He's just been an awesome legend that always helps me out, backs me, and it's been great.
Oh, fantastic, mate. Well done. P3 in the championship. We didn't get to speak to Greg Sharp, but I'm sure he's happy with that as well. Second in the championship. And, of course, Greg Favell, your winner. Thanks, boys. We'll see you for Season 12.
Cheers.
Thanks, Luke.
Cheers. So a quick word in there from our third in the championship, Christian Smart for Synergy Sim Racing. So Taipan Esports takes the championship ahead of Greg Sharp for Coda Sim Sports, and Synergy Sim Racing third in the championship as well. Right, until tomorrow night, I'll see you then. I'm Luke, this is RACESTARS TV. You guys are absolute legends. There is your race winner, Greg Favell, Season 11 champion. See you tomorrow night for Split 2.